If you're selling a business and worried about capital gains eating into everything you've built, there's a strategy that can potentially reduce that upfront tax impact, creating a long term income stream and build a legacy that continues far beyond the sale. And real quick, when I say CRT, I'm not talking about the CRT that you see people arguing about online. I'm really talking about charitable remainder trusts. So this is not political. This is not about race. I love everybody. The human race is what matters to me. This is about keeping more of the money that you've worked hard for so you can take care of your family, your community, and the future that you're building. Now that we've cleared that up, let's get into how charitable remainder trusts actually work and why it might be one of the most powerful wealth strategies most business owners never hear about. What's up, everyone? Jason here, your wealth strategist. I break down complex wealth building concepts the same way that I help clients break down their financial goals, with clarity, purpose, and a rhythm that actually makes sense. So let's jump in. There was a business owner in Nevada here that reached out to me recently. He'd spent 15 years building his company, late nights, early mornings, no days off, kind of like the grind that Joyner talks about, right? So no shortcuts, no excuses, just relentless execution. And like when Joyner and Logic finally collabed after all the buildup and all the anticipation, this guy finally got the offer, a huge offer on his company. It was life-changing money. But then reality hit him harder than a beat switch. So he looked at the numbers, right? He realized capital gains could take a massive chunk of the sale. So he said, Jason, I knew taxes were going to show up, but I didn't know that they were going to smack me around like that. There's no way that I worked this hard just to watch a big chunk disappear. That's when I told him about the strategy that almost nobody knows until they talk to a professional, which is a charitable remainder trust. Talk to a professional if you want to know if this is good for you or not. Now, the look on his face changed instantly. The same way that fans reacted when Joyner and Logic dropped the track together after people thought they'd never see it happen. It was unexpected. It was clean. It was perfect timing, actually. And so, look, I explained the charitable remainder trust doesn't just help with taxes. It can also create a structured, contractually defined income stream that can last for decades or even potentially the rest of your life. So, depending on how the trust is drafted, right? And I told him something that most people never hear. Once that income starts coming in, you have choices. Some people reinvest it. Others, they prefer stability in what I call the personal pension style cash flow plan, or you can call it the personal cash flow stability plan, whatever you want to call it. Call it the JustAVariation plan, I don't care. Now, he leaned back and he said, how come nobody's ever told me this? Well, because most people don't have the access to this level of planning, but now you do. So here's the thing, a charitable remainder trust works the same way that a powerful collaboration works, right? So you bring your business, you bring your sweat, you bring your sacrifice, you bring your equity. The charitable remainder trust brings a tax-exempt structure, legal protection, long-term planning, income strategy, and charitable legacy. So separately, each piece is good, and together, they create something cleaner, stronger, and more effective than either piece could have done by itself. So here's the core mechanic in simple language. If you transfer your business interest to a charitable remainder trust before a binding sale, the trust, which is tax exempt under the IRS rules, can sell that interest without recognizing capital gains at the trust level. Now, this means that the trust doesn't get hit with the tax. It keeps the full amount and reinvests it. That does not eliminate taxation forever. However, what it does is it restructures when you experience it and how you experience it. Instead of a giant tax hit, you get taxes spread out over time and based on the income the trust pays you. And yes, those payments are taxed, but the difference between one giant tax bill and structured paced out recognition is night and day. This is where income planning becomes powerful. You get annual payments either fixed or based on a percentage, and that can last for your lifetime, joint lifetimes, or up to 20 years. It's really up to you. And that is IRS law. Straightforward, predictable, structured. And if you live in Nevada, there's no state income tax, so those distributions only face federal tax tiers. Now that's clarity, that's control, and that's strategy. Now, a charitable remainder trust allows the trust, not you, to sell the business interest without recognizing capital gains at the trust level, because the trust itself is tax exempt. Now, this means instead of losing a large percentage right at the moment of sale, the entire amount stays invested and working. Think of it like keeping your entire verse on the track, instead of cutting half of it before the beat even drops. And of course, some people are going to say,
"Yeah, but Jason, don't I lose control if I put my business in a trust?"
So here's the truth. You're not losing control, you're just restructuring it. You get to choose your trustee, your payout terms, your charity, your beneficiaries, your investment strategy, and your timeline. So you're not losing the asset, you lose the massive upfront tax hit. And that's the only thing you're really giving away. Now, CRTs, charitable remainder trusts, must pay you a defined income stream every year, no less than 5% and no more than 50% of the trust value, depending on how it's drafted. Those payments can last for life, joint lives, or a fixed 20-year window. What this does is it becomes your replacement income after the business is gone. And if you happen to be in Nevada, there's no state income tax, so your distributions only face federal taxation. Now, what this does is it creates a smooth, structured, predictable flow, which is like your new rhythm after the exit, right? And of course, some people are going to be saying,
"Yeah, but Jason, the income is still taxed, so what's the point?"
Yeah, I'm aware the income is taxed, but they're missing the bigger picture, right? There's a huge difference between taxing the entire sale at once versus taxing only the amount that you receive each year. By avoiding that massive tax hit up front, you keep more of the sale invested, which can potentially increase your long-term benefit and make your income stream last longer. It's the same reason that you don't drop all your bars in the first 8 seconds. First of all, it doesn't sound good doing that unless you're Twista, but even then. Timing matters, delivery matters, structure matters. At the end of the trust, the remainder goes into the charity that you choose, but that doesn't mean that your family loses out. This is actually where wealth replacement trust comes in, which is often structured as an ILIT, which is an irrevocable life insurance trust. You can use a portion of your CRT income to fund a life insurance policy that can provide your heirs with generally income tax-free benefit when it's structured properly. You get income, your charity gets the remainder, your heirs get protection, your estate gets efficiency. 2 trusts, 2 lanes, 1 coordinated piece. And of course, some people are going to be saying,
"Yeah, but Jason, if the charity gets the remainder, doesn't that mean that my kids lose?"
Actually, no. With the wealth replacement trust, your heirs can receive more than they would have after traditional taxable sale, right? So the charity wins, your family wins, you win, and the IRS gets a smaller upfront portion. So that's not losing, that's planning. So the charitable remainder trust gives business owners a rare combination of benefits, which is like reducing the immediate capital gains impact, keeping more of the sale invested instead of taxed, creating a long-term income stream. They're benefiting from Nevada's tax environment, if you're in Nevada, of course, right? So, and it allows you to leave a charitable legacy and replace family wealth strategically, right? And also add structure to your financial future. This is planning with intention, purpose, and rhythm. If you're thinking about selling a business or even planning years ahead, reach out to me. Let's look at your numbers, your goals, your legacy, and your values to build a strategy that supports everything that you're trying to create. All right, now that you understand the strategy and how it works, you'll see exactly why the rhythm of my next piece mirrors the collaboration energy of these 2 elite lyricists, trading precision back and forth. I'm talking about Joyner, Lucas, and Logic. Same type of flow. Same types of cadences. Of course, totally different message. Let's get right into it.
We're going to be looking at charitable remainder trusts. Essentially, if you're someone that doesn't like to pay taxes and owns assets and has stocks that you're sitting on, we're gonna delve into a strategy on how you can potentially use to not pay as much taxes. I know that you specialize in certain things. This is one of them. And so how do you build a specialty around charitable remainder trusts?
1 time for the sellers trying to plan right, 2 times for the owners in the late nights, 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right, 4 times for the tax bills duck now, 5 times for the trust that'll cash out, 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right, 2 times for the owners in the late nights, 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right, 4 times for the tax bills duck now, 5 times for the trust that'll cash out, 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. I've been studying exits and strategies, never been caught in a panic. I'm moving with purpose, I'm thinking in decades while everyone's thinking in transit. Selling a business you built from the bottom, you finally step out of the madness. But capital gains finna knock on your door like pay me my portion and pass it. Put it in the trust, let it flip clean. Charitable game with a big screen. Income flow like a calm stream. Tax bill light like it's a fog machine. I've been grinding way too long to let the IRS take the whole thing. Legacy tight like a closed ring. Trying to leave more than a gold chain. I've been looking at the numbers like a coach calling timeouts. No way I'm letting text take my whole dime out. Years in the trenches, built it from the grind out. Now it's time to cash in, smarter, that's my round route. Trust documents drafted like a playbook, flawless. Every clause tight, every page look lawless. Structure so strong that the system can't claw this. Building up a plan while the average stays thoughtless. Sail in the trust, let it grow, tax sheltered. Income so smooth, retirement is velvet. The type of plan and the wealthy all relish your life's work too. Legacy you've cherished. Moving intentional with every single line. This type of blueprint that protects what's mine. CRT strategy perfectly designed. Tell smart, live well, taxes defined. One time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. I've been mapping the follower strategies, never been slow with the planning. Thinking in legacy decades ahead, while most of them thinking in fragments. After the sale, the papers are settled, you finally step out of the havoc. But wealth transfer laws gonna knock on your door, like show me your structure and assets. Put it with the fam in a clean lane. Wealth trust ride with insurance frame. Death benefit like a steady flame. Policy strong like a freight train. I've been prepping way too long to let the future leave gaps in the whole chain. Air set up with the full claim. Try to leave more than a bold name. I've been working through the options with the game plan mapped out. Ain't letting life catch the whole team tapped out. Years in the build up, never took the fast route. Now it's time to layer every move that's a max route. Eyelid documents drafted, framework flawless. Every term tight, no loopholes lawless. Covered strong, move from one, just pause this. Think a generation while others stay thoughtless. Wealth in the plan, let it grow well balanced. Pay it so smooth it'll soften the challenge. This is the type of structure that the wise all manage. This multi-generational advantage. Moving intentional with heirs in mind. This is the type of planning that protects the line. 2 trust system perfectly aligned. Sell smart, pass strong, let the future all shine. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. Planning with passion, I'm passing the penalty. Capital casualties fall accidentally, but not when you're thinking ahead with integrity. Trust in the sale and you move with longevity. Wealth and trajectory, tax and deficiency. Legacy build with layered efficiency. Income affinity, family stability. CRT strategy, this is proficiency. Assets in motion with long-term stability. Charity funded with purpose and ability. Structure so strong it moves with agility. Trust-based decisions enhance durability. Policies funded with perfect sufficiency. Heirs get protection with tax-free resilience. Future security, long-term tranquility. The blueprint of wealth and responsibility. Mindset locked in a legacy mentality. Every move checked against real-world reality. Family and purpose in perfect duality. Money's the tool, but mission's totality. CRT moves at the wealth allocation. Eyelid rides to risk preservation. Both lanes synced in clean coordination. One self-fueling a whole new generation. Micro decisions with macro intention. Layer designs in a higher dimension. Air stay covered through value retention. Charity shine from your focused attention. Long view plans built on sharp intuition. Cash flow matched with precise composition. Tax kept low through refined provision. Legacy locked with surgical precision. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down. 1 time for the sellers trying to plan right. 2 times for the owners in the late nights. 3 times when the offer hits the table and you trying to make a move that'll set your whole life right. 4 times for the tax bills duck now. 5 times for the trust that'll cash out. 6 times for the folks like you who built something real, ain't letting it crash down.